Welcome everyone to Weekly News and DW with Major Tidbits, and the topic for this video is VP Sara sumuko na. Nang mag-umisa ang House interpellation para suriin ang proposed budget ng Office of the Vice President, biglang naglabas ng bombshell ang ating butihing Vice Presidente.
Madam Chair, all the answers are... wala yan doon sa opening statement. I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 budget proposal by question and answer.
She said na she will be foregoing and waiving her right to answer or defend the proposed budget sa isang meeting sa Kamara to scrutinize the budget na galing sa Kaban ng Bayan. And that's why I said galing sa Kaban ng Bayan, because I want to emphasize the fact na parang gusto niya, entitled siya sa budget na yun, na it will be a rubber stamp, that the Congress would be a rubber stamp for everything that she wants to accomplish, or even just want to approve of, or let them be a rubber stamp to approve of whatever she wants to do. I mean, what the fuck? Diba? Tinatanong kasi siya kung sino yung editor ng kanyang criminalized book na Isang Kaibigan, that, if you remember from last week, ay nag-cause ng isang malakihang alingaw-ngaw, particularly because of the sagutan na nangyari between Senator Risa Ontiveros and the VP patungkol sa hindi niya pagsagot ng tama sa mga tanong ni Senator Risa, claiming politicization when all she did was ask tungkol saan ang libro. Ilan ang ipamimigay na libro? And this would not be a thing. Like, this would not be as big of a thing if sinagot niya na lang kung ano yung libro, ano yung laman ng libro, ilan ang pamimigay na libro, ilan yung i-order para sa publication ng libro. Hindi kasi siya sanay na may nagsuscrutinize kahit papyaw lang sa kanyang budget. I mean, tinanong na siya again and again, ano ang laman ng libro? What is the book all about? Same thing goes with what happened last year sa mga taong or tanong patungkol sa kanyang confidential fund budget na umabot sa 650 million na confidential at intelligence fund proposed. Hindi pa natin sinasama yung Commission Audit Report kung saan parang dinidisallow yung kanyang paggamit ng 75 million, I think, of the confidential fund na kinuha sa isang contingency fund galing sa presidente nung walang confidential fund na iniwan si Vice President Leni Robredo, because again, she has not, and even Binay has not had much or even at all confidential funds because they don't really need it. And 650 million confidential fund, halos ganun nakalaki yung budget ni VP Sara Duterte, ni VP Leni Robredo back then. Tapos gagamitin mo na siya sa confidential at intelligence fund. I mean, what the fuck? Diba? Pero bakit niya nga ba ginagawa ito? Bakit niya sinasabing ayaw niya na depensahan ang kanyang budget? Ayaw niya nang makipagsalita ng, idea at, try to defend to the Filipino people kung ano yung gagawin niya sa pera natin. Well, there's basically two schools of thought na naglalaban here. Either talagang ayaw niya na lang talagang sumagot dahil baka magkaroon pa siya ng magkaroon ba siya lalo ng bad press more than what she already had incurred since coming into office at pakikipaglaban sa administrasyon na tinulungan niyang manalo back in 2022 with the Uniteam days. Kumbaga parang siya yung nagiging divider, or what do you call it, yung nagkakos ng great schism between the loyalist Marcos Jr. thingamajig and the DDS. Kumbaga siya yung schism, siya yung nagkakos ng schism to pull them apart when all they actually proposed and kind of rammed onto as their political platform to be unity. And now she's breaking that promise. Kumbaga, unity na nga lang yung yung plataforma mo, tapos hindi mo pa susundin, hindi mo pa itutuloy at least until the end of his term. Nabugbog siya ng media at ng ating mga netizens through memes at bad publicity dahil sa kanyang mga nonsensical na sagot, mga temper tantrums at yung kanyang huwarang pagdeklara ng crusade laban sa Administrasyong Marcos from the, I think, very start. She may not like na tinanong siya kung saan gagamitin ang Kaban ng Bayan. She may not like the fact na becoming increasingly unpopular na siya. She may not like question na itatanong. But she must answer it, else should get the least amount of budget in the history of the last 12 years. Kumbaga maraming ang tao na nagsasabi na kung hindi niya i-defend yung budget na kanyang pinopropose, well, bigyan natin siya ng zero budget. You know what? Even better, i-impeach siya. To which, what she said was, you know, wala naman akong paka sa position ko. Like, it doesn't really matter. I don't hold this office that much. Blah, 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 blah. Kumbaga, wala siyang pake kung i-impeach siya. But, you know, sure buddy. Simula nung nanalo sila Marcos, kontra na lang siya ng kontra. Puro iskandalo ang mga nangyayari, kaakibat ang pangalan niya. Meanwhile, Marcos is not affected in any way, or if so, only a little bit. Pangalawa, it's because she's gauging whether kahit ba hindi niya depensahan ang kanyang budget ay maipapasa ito. Basically, gauging kung may puwersa pa siya, may political hold pa siya sa politika, gaya ng natamasa niya nung siya'y tumakbo as vice-presidente. Because again, because she was also being considered as the presumptive president of the Philippines. Pero again, sinabi nga ni Duterte, bakit hindi na lang siya ang tumakbo as the president of the Philippines? Bakit hindi lang si Sara tumakbo? Because she's more popular than Marcos himself. And she got a higher vote count and higher person than Marcos himself. Kung mas marami siyang boto as the vice president. So that's like unheard of, I think. I'm not sure. Is she gearing up for the presidency para sa 2028? It seems like laban na lang ng laban ang mga Marcos at Duterte, with Duterte's provoking or kind of burning the bridge. She's gearing up, and one way she can estimate kung gaano kalakas ang kanyang suporta is through this dangerously dumb move, dahil humihina na ang hatak ng mga Duterte sa ating bansa. Si Marcos hindi naman ganun ka-controversial sa kanyang termino compared to VP Sara Duterte na nag-resign nang hindi naging House Speaker si dating Pangulo GMA. Nahalungkat ang kanyang confidential at intelligence fund lumaban sa pinopursue ni President Marcos Jr. na constitutional amendment, bangayan ng mga Marcos at Duterte. Lahat yan culminated to her being the personal political opposition laban kay Marcos without actually saying anything against Marcos himself. Dahil alam niya na if she burned bridges too early at with direct hit kay Marcos, goodbye na sa kanyang posisyon. Goodbye na sa kanyang impluensya. She's by no means the true political opposition, and I have already said that a million times. Lalo na nung nag-resign siya sa DepEd Secretary position. She is not the honorary or what you would call as the ideal opposition. She's just a namemersonal na political opposition, pero not the opposition that you would attribute to someone that is actually purporting for, I don't know, freedom of press or whatever. I mean, that's what Marcos is paying lip service to as well. Pero, you know, there's a lot of stuff na going on. And, you know, Marcos, his ideology, it's not bad per se. It's not something that you would scoff at. It's not as disagreeable as the MAGA Republicans in the United States of America. You know, I don't see that with Marcos. The only objection I have with Marcos is the fact that she's trying to whitewash the Marcos name by being, you know, a good enough, a kind of Ninoy Aquino III-esque style of politicking. She's by no means the true political opposition laban sa rehimeng Marcos Jr., but she'd be what they call, or what we would call, as a useful idiot na pwedeng dumungi sa persepsyon ng tao kay President Marcos Jr. Ikinukumpara rin siya kay former Vice President Robredo dahil in the entirety of her term, mabilisan lang ang pag-scrutinize ng kanyang proposed budget under a Duterte administration at Duterte majority. Nakapagpasaras pa sila ng ABS-CBN. Ilang minuto or sometimes even the lawmakers are promising or even kind of pledging na bibigyan or dadagdagan pa ang kanyang budget. And that's under Duterte administration at Duterte majority Congress.
I shall now address the issues that are germane to the use of public funds. It is my belief that it would be a stretch, if not absurd, to compare the budget of my immediate predecessor to the present budget proposal. We do not have personal knowledge as to why she did not request for a fair budget for her projects.
You would think na in an increasingly hostile environment sa isang opisyal na tinuturing na oposisyon ng gobyerno na ulit dinudungisan ang pangalan dahil sa kanyang political party affiliation nung siya'y tumakbo at kung saan siya'y nanalo in an antagonistic relationship, or at least that's what they are trying to portray. VP Leni Robredo's kind of speaking out against, I don't know, war on drugs and all that stuff in an antagonistic relationship with the person in charge. Hindi bibigyan ng budget o pahihirapan ng pero o kontrero, mon ami. It's just the fact na, you know, the partisan politics back then is surely damaging to Leni Robredo, but that doesn't negate the fact na the Congress unilaterally voted or even encouraged the increase in VP Leni Robredo's budget proposals. Again, sinabi nga natin na pinupush pa or pinapromise pa ng ilang lawmaker na itataas pa or dadagdagan pa yung kanyang budget just because of what she has accomplished tangibly. Tila'y masyadong trustworthy si Vice President Leni Robredo compared to VP Sara right now. That even in a populist pro-Duterte political climate, the lawmakers recognize na tapat maglingkod si dating Vice President Leni Robredo. Unlike Duterte or VP Duterte, mas marami ang nakuhang boto sa presidente in a landslide. As you can see na, hindi niya dapat to na-encounter. She's a popular political figure and the daughter and the successor or honorary successor of the popular populist president. Tila'y nagbe-break siya under the slightest hint of pressure or opposition sa kanyang budget. Para siyang pusang na corner na galit with her guards up. Parang everyone is out to get her. And that they, or at least that may be the case. Talagang ang dami niya ng bridge na sinunog. What could have been a unified executive branch ng gobyerno turned into the vice president being antagonistic with the president even more than the previous duos. Two teammates in the same political ticket with a popular populist or increased popularity just doesn't seem to get along. Sinabi niyang hindi niya alam kung bakit hindi humingi si VP Leni ng nararapat na budget para sa kanya, seemingly saying na humihingi siya ng rasonableng budget at hindi niya kasalanan kung hindi humingi si Leni ng something right for her. All of this started dahil ayaw niyang sagutin na maayos sa tanong o yung tanong ni Senator Rizal de Veros kung ano ang nilalaman ng libro na supposedly sinulat niya with discovered errors exposed by Representative Raul Manuel.
Ask the resource person to tell the name, pero baka hindi pa nadidistinguish ano yung tanong, ano yung hindi. Pero since ayaw pong ibigay yung name ng editor ng children's book, ito kasi yung point natin, Madam Chair. The book contains many errors. Sige po, pakita po natin. Kasama po dyan dahon ng banahaw. Wala naman pong dahon ng banahaw, baka anahaw po yung tinutukoy. Yung word na sila, dapat po sina. Tapos yung walang awa, dapat nga may hyphen po yan. Tapos, Madam Chair, nakalagay din yung pugad daw ng kwago ay nakapatong sa sanga. Madam Chair, sabi ng mga eksperto, ang owl's nest hindi po ay nakapatong sa sanga. Nasa either butas po yan ng mga puno or nasa ilalim ng lupa. Next, Madam Chair, this book is not child-friendly as per writers kasi, and actually, ang topic na nga natin, 2025 budget, gusto ng resource person, we limit to the 2025 budget, pero hindi pa rin sinasagot. But this book, Madam Chair, will just contribute to the worsening of the learning crisis. Hindi po siya actually ay makabata. Ano? Kaya, Madam Chair, before I end sa second round, kasi kanina meron din pong ad hominem sa atin, meron pang disinformation about this representation. Madam Chair, kung okay lang naman yung mga libro at halimbawa kung totoo pa kayong sinasabi about me, I would even suggest sa OVP, dagdagan yung budget, baka makalimang libro pa ang vice-presidente. Pwede pa nga may special edition tungkol sa kwento ng buhay ko. Pero given, Madam Chair, na hindi din talaga pumapasa sa standards ng pagsusulat ng libro. And I also think, Madam Chair, na throughout this hearing, hindi successfully na-defend yung budget ng Office of the Vice President. So, ako, personally, I'm inclined na hindi natin i-terminate yung budget briefing for the Office of the Vice President. So, yun na lang muna, Madam Chair. Maraming salamat.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Madam Vice President.
Yes. From The name of the editor of the book is Raul Manuel. It's a joke, ma'am. You strike it out of the record if you want.
Ang video clip na ito ay galing sa aking series na News Worthy Recap. Check the entire video for the complete weekly news recap and subscribe to the channel to be kept up to date sa mga local at global news na I'll make sure would be interesting to you particularly. Di ko alam yung name mo pero you should subscribe. You... Muhammad Smith? I don't fucking know. John Smith? Salamat sa manunod mga kabayan. For me, like, subscribe, follow my links in socials and avoid shows that would be linked down below. Sa susunod muli, of course, paalam.